I'm Isaiah Jacob. Earlier today, former Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore was formally charged in Washtenaw County. He faces felony third-degree home invasion, misdemeanor stalking, and breaking and entering. Prosecutors stated Moore entered the woman's home, made alarming statements, even at one point threatening self-harm with kitchen utensils, thus prompting the 911 call. His next court date is scheduled for January 22nd. In Ohio State news, the Buckeyes placed 3 players in the top 10 of Heisman voting, led by Julian Sayin, who landed as a finalist. Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs also cracked the top tier. And earlier today, Julian joined Bishop and friends and had a chance to speak on what he credits for his breakout season.
Yeah, I think I've been surrounded by just great people. You know, being at a school like Ohio State, has a great team around you, has great coaches. It's been a blessing.
Julian will be in New York tomorrow night for the trophy ceremony. Tonight, the Cavs take on a struggling Wizards team at 7. Jared Allen and Sam Merrill are both listed as out. This update was sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Ring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
And Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Football Friday. I'm Brandon Beam hanging out with my guy, Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts. We got Isaiah behind the glass. Murph, happy Football Friday to you, my friend. What's going on? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's a weird Football Friday because obviously high school football's done, even the state playoffs, and then minimal amounts of football this weekend. I didn't even realize there was a bowl game this weekend.
I didn't know that there was a bowl game either.
Yeah, Washington plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Had no clue that Washington was playing football this weekend.
Yeah, I saw something about their coach saying that they have no opt-outs for Saturday, and I was like, is this an old tweet?
Are you talking about like this Saturday?
Yeah. And
like this specific Saturday that
I
they're
forget.
playing?
Like tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. They play Boise State.
They do play Boise
12-13
State in the
at 8
home of
p.m.
your Los Angeles Rams tomorrow at 8
is
o'clock.
it? Yeah, because the Rams don't play till Sunday.
You also got the Cricket Celebration Bowl between South Carolina State and Prairie View tomorrow. And then you get a little bit of a hiatus, and then you get like the full bowl season to kick in on Tuesday. Obviously got Army-Navy, got the Heisman Trophy ceremony going on tomorrow. So you got a lot. So, yeah, I mean, it's still a Football Friday, right? I mean,
yeah, just different.
You've got NFL that's still in the fray. Week, 15 for those guys in the league. We've got a great show lined up for you here tonight. Julian Sayin, he was on these airwaves a little bit earlier today with Uncle Bo. You're going to hear from him coming up in our next segment around 6:17. Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row, he's going to join the program coming up here at 6:30. He will act in for Pat for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick Murphy, but sub out Patrick Murphy and include Spencer Holbrook.
I've seen him have a few beers.
Yeah, so Spence is going to join us at 6:30. We'll do our Power 5. I want you to think about this for 45 minutes, 40 minutes or so coming up in our last segment in the 6 o'clock hour. Got the Heisman Trophy ceremony tomorrow. And I was just thinking back, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to do Power 5 favorite Heisman Trophy winners, non-Buckeyes in our lifetime. That will span different years. That'll depending on how old you are, how young you are. Maybe you have fewer Heisman trophies. Maybe you have more in your lifetime. So we're going to do that coming up at 6:46. We'll do the Pulse at 7 o'clock. And then we do have a busy 7 o'clock hour for you. Bill Bender of the Sporting News. He's going to join us at 7:17. Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. Buckeyes with a big game tomorrow up in Cleveland against Mountain Mama, West Virginia. Adam Jardy's going to join us. We'll talk some hoops with him at 7:30. Pat, what's going on today? Anything breaking today?
No, it's been a strangely slow day. Other than the Sherrone Moore arraignment, is that the proper term?
Yes, it is.
For what happened today, which, man, I guess they did it over Zoom or some sort of video feed. I just saw people tweeting out. I'm sure people, if you're on social media, you saw the picture of him kind of sitting in a, I don't know if it was a cell or a little room that they set up for him.
Like a hearing cell, yeah.
Yeah, just wild. I mean, you know, this every time I hear something new about this whole situation, it just gets crazier and probably more unfortunate for the people involved. So other than that, though, been pretty normal day. Wrote about Julian Sayin and the Heisman.
Yep.
Did some other stuff.
He's got that to look forward to, which is nice.
Yeah. Look, I think I've heard this from a few people. It's like, well, he's not going to win it, and it's like, it's still an honor to be a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Absolutely, it is.
He's one of the 4 people of all of the guys that played in college football. And I know you expect this. We've grown to expect this from Ohio State's starting quarterbacks. But, I mean, this is a kid who we had high expectations for. He's probably exceeded them, especially if we're talking about his completion percentage.
I think if you go back and you listen to everything that we said during the preseason and in the quarterback competition in fall camp, I 100% agree with you that I believe that he exceeded the expectations as to what we set out for him at the beginning of the year. Now, the expectation changed.
Yes.
Midway through the season, a quarter way through the season, once you got through 4 or 5 games, of course they changed. And again, we'll hear from Julian Sayin coming up in our next segment. But I'm with you. I think if you go back to what your original expectations were for Julian Sayin, I think he blew that ship right out of the water.
Yeah, because, look, I think we all expected him to be good, but there's always, until you really see it, and at Ohio State, you don't get because of the, just the way they play, we don't get to see a ton of the backup quarterbacks. I think there were, especially people, I'd seen little bits and pieces in practice. We talked about that, but you still want to see it if you're a Buckeye fan, right? To know that, okay, he's going to fall in line with Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, even throw Will Howard in there.
It's just not an easy thing to do at all, and they make it look extraordinarily easy. And I know that Julian, out of all the guys that you had just listed, may make it look the easiest out of all of those guys. And towards the end of CJ's career, he made it look extremely easy. Yeah. You go back to Dwayne, thrown for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Justin, with what he was able to do in the multifaceted game that he has. Will Howard came on like a wrecking ball in the college football playoff run last year. It didn't look easy at times for Will Howard in this offense at all. And then you get this quarterback robot who comes in and you're like, whoa. This dude is freaky and sets a college football record for highest completion percentage for college football regular season, which is crazy.
Absolutely. And I think he has the opportunity. I know. He has the opportunity to do something that none of those guys have done and go from being a Heisman Trophy finalist. Maybe he wins it. I don't think we think he will, but
agreed.
Go from that to winning a national championship. And that was one of the things as I was writing my story, which was sort of focused on him stepping into that legacy. And he talked to me about obviously he wanted to go play for Nick Saban, Alabama, but he brought up
he signed with him.
I would wake up in the mornings and because he's on the West Coast and turn on college football. It's 9 a.m. It's already started out there. He's like, sometimes CJ Stroud would already have 4 touchdown passes. And, he brings up different games. Like, clearly this kid was dialed in. He talked about the Clemson win in 2020, the Michigan State game when they came here for the night game, when it was the top 10 matchup and Ohio State was up by like 30 at halftime.
Yeah, that was a bloodbath.
Yeah, and so like clearly he's been aware of these guys, but now he has the opportunity to go on and do something that none of them have. And as I was writing it, I was like, well, he can follow that Will Howard pattern or Will Howard path, I guess, that didn't include a Heisman Trophy finalist last year, but he did get to watch Will lead this team, and they're different, obviously, in a lot of different ways. But I do think that's good experience. And look, if you end the season as a Heisman Trophy finalist, even if you lose it, and then you lift the national championship at the end of the year, and you're coming back next year,
yep,
I think that's pretty good season and sets you up for a good spot in 2026.
What's your biggest question right now about this Ohio State team, the act of the current roster and their mission as of right now? Again, we still got a few weeks away from Ohio State playing down in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl. We've got time. But obviously you're coming off of a loss against Indiana, 13-10. It's kind of a haunted score for Ohio State fans right now. What's your biggest question offensively, defensively, kind of about this team and its current iteration as to what's going on with them?
Yeah, it's got to be the offensive line for me, closely followed by what's going to happen with the offensive coordinator. Not position, because Brian Hartline's going to be there as far as we know, but just how it all works. And we talked about the offensive line yesterday. Like, they've got to play better. When you're going against some of these top defenses that you're going to face in the playoff. And then, if Brian Hartline isn't able to be a fully engaged Brian Hartline, that affects you too, right? And you have Ryan Day. He'll be more involved on the offensive side of the ball, as he was a year ago when Chip Kelly was here. So I do think that will help. But you need all hands on deck at this point in the year. And, right now you're trying to sort of start to game plan for 2 different teams. There's just a lot going on. So for me, it's both of those things on, can that offensive line get back to how they're playing the first half of the season? And then if you are, how you're handling this whole Brian Hartline situation, because we've seen it work. we've seen it not work in terms of keeping a guy on like this.
Yeah, we have. Any questions about the defense at all? Because I think the last time out, like certainly I think you can say to yourself, like it wasn't the greatest game that we've seen the Ohio State defense play, but they allowed 13 points in that game to an Indiana team that was scoring, I don't know what their average was this year, but they were scoring a lot of points, right? You gave up a lot of yards against Indiana. You gave up a few chunk plays. Any concern level for you about this Buckeye defense, which as a whole has been incredible this season?
Not really. I mean, look, we can.
I agree with that too. I was asking.
We could nitpick and could you get more pressure on quarterbacks? Could you do this? Could you do that? Like Arvell Reese hasn't been as statistically involved. Can you get him going? But look,
he's playing a lot of coverage too. I've noticed that in the last couple of games where statistically he hasn't been as good as he was earlier on in the season when he became a household name across Buckeye Nation and America. I have noticed just watching him and what the game plan was. They have been kind of dropping him back a little bit more and not setting him free. Now, I don't know if that's a long con. I don't know if they say, all right, when we get into the playoffs, like you're just going to be the havoc wreaker, go and break up the play, do whatever you need to do. But I did kind of notice that at some point later in the season, there was kind of a shift from him being the havoc wreaker to, okay, we need you in pass pro.
Yeah, well, and I think some of that has to do with how the opposing offenses are scheming for him now. Mm-hmm. And so if you're Matt Patricia, okay, let's do like simulated pressure with him, right? And now that frees up other guys. And Sonny Styles has been an absolute beast. Like we haven't talked about him as much just because of what Arvell Reese and some of these kind of newcomers, so to speak, this year have done. But I mean, you look at Sonny's numbers. I mean, he leads the team. I think he's got 80 tackles. This is before the playoff.
Has he missed a tackle this season? Because I know like 8 games in, he was the only player in college football without a missed tackle.
Yeah, I'll look that up on the next break. But I'm pretty sure, because I was looking up stuff on him the other day, I'm pretty sure he is not. And so yeah, I mean, if you want to nitpick a little bit on things here or there, you could. But this defense is so good. I mean, Indiana's offense, think about what they were doing before, and you hold them to 13 points. I mean, they did everything you needed them to do to win that game, right?
Yeah, you gave up 13 points.
And I don't know. You'll see offenses that maybe are comparable in some ways. I don't know if you'll see an offense overall better than what you'll see from Indiana. So, no, there's little to be concerned about from the defense.
Heisman finalist, Buckeye quarterback Julian Sayin. He joined Uncle Bo earlier this morning. You're going to hear from him coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, where can you get a full suite of business banking services served up by well-trained, caring employees with unquestionable integrity? It's right here at Heartland. Relationships matter. I'm Scott McComb. Come over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Picture it. Your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When you're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis, all the F words apply. Football, food, and fun, and fat, and furry. They both have beards. And they dress up like animals and hump things. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings at 6.
The Fan.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, light winds, and a dry finish on this Friday. Temperatures in the mid-30s. Overnight staying in the 20s with mostly cloudy skies and light winds to start your Saturday. Snow comes in fast. In the middle part of the day through the afternoon and evening, accumulation during the day 3 to 5 inches. As we get through Sunday, much colder air, highs only in the teens. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
How are you handling snow, Pat? Are you adept to it or not?
It depends. You mean like right now or just like in life?
No, right now. I know Jerry Martz just said, 3 to 5 inches tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
It was like when we came back from, or driving back from Ann Arbor, and
hey, that looked harrowing. From all the accounts that were tweeting about it, and everybody, Ohio State fans driving back. I mean, it was a whiteout.
Oh yeah,
it was not good.
Yeah, I was, and I don't know if I said this on here or not, but Steve Hellwagon, my coworker, was driving the first half. We stop in Bowling Green, we get gas, I take over, and like 10 minutes later, it's roads cleared, going 70 after going like 30 miles an hour the whole way. But to answer your question, I like the first few snows, I couldn't find anything. I actually ended up at one of the days there was snow for the first, like real snow for the first time. Well, Jake Diebler had a press conference, and I got there, and I just I wasn't dressed right. I didn't know where any of my winter stuff was. Mm-hmm. I was almost late because I couldn't find my boots, and there's like 3 inches of snow out there, and I'm like, I'm not going to wear regular shoes. So I think I've got everything set now. I'm not looking forward to this tomorrow. It'd be cool to have a trip to Miami here coming up, but college football playoff
is fine.
Yeah, you tell me that after I went to Dallas last year and walked through slush.
Torrential snowstorm down there.
And they just don't know. At least Columbus isn't great as compared to a Cleveland or places that get a lot of snow. But Dallas, I mean, it was real. They had no idea what to do. And even in the buses,
they're not used to it.
The big buses that they transport us around in, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You'd never drive in snow in your life. That's why, hey, keep your eyes and ears open tomorrow if you're driving, okay? All right, just prepare for the drift. You know?
Do you guys clear off the car? How much time do you spend before you get in the vehicle? Because for me, I make sure that my side's good.
Yeah.
And then windows, I usually roll them down just far enough to where the snow doesn't come in, and I'll roll them back up so I about half view on each side, and then I'm going.
Yeah. No, I'm a full clear. I clear off.
You get the hood?
I get the hood. I don't get the top. I don't get the top of the car. But everything else has got to go.
I enjoy driving and letting it all kind of come off, which is probably not the safest thing in the world for people driving.
Not a you
behind
problem,
me.
though. That's a them problem.
Yes. My fiance gets on me about it. She did this past up. She's like, please clean off your car enough so you can see when you go after the snow. And I'm like, all right. So I did get the windshields enough.
I can see right through here. If I just kind of scoot down a little bit, there's a spot right there underneath the dash.
I've got 20/20 vision out of this thing.
Let's be honest. Good. I'm not planning well enough to be like, even for a press conference that happens weekly at the exact same time. It's like, it's 15 minutes before. Better get out the door. And then I don't have time to clean it off. Sorry.
That's crazy. That's a crazy way to live.
I don't deny it.
That is insane. Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row. He's going to join us coming up here at 6:30. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him. Let's hear from Heisman finalist Julian Sayin, shall we? He joined Uncle Bo and the boys. You can always go back. You can listen to their podcast. You can watch the interview on the YouTube stream. Here was Julian a little bit earlier today, again, on Bishop and Friends, talking a little bit about if he was surprised or not that he was involved in this.
Yeah, we have some great players on the team, so I wasn't too surprised to see it. Caleb and Jeremiah up there as well. They're really great players, and it's awesome to see them.
3 Buckeyes finished in the top 10 in Heisman voting. Caleb Downs, I believe, was either number 8 or number 9. I think Jeremiah Smith was either 6 or 7. The last time that happened was actually 2019. So it's not as rare as you might think. 3 Ohio State players finishing
Buckeyes
inside of the top 10. Yes, they are. They're very good. We know that. But yeah, the last time that happened was 2019, which is, there's plenty of schools around the country that has not had one player finish in the top 10 in Heisman voting, let alone to have multiple finish inside of the top 10, which I think is a great achievement. Obviously, I don't think any of us are expecting Julian Sayin to win the Heisman Trophy. I think that was a smaller narrative last week when you got into the Big Ten championship week. Like, all right, who's going to win it, Fernando Mendoza or Julian Sayin? For me, I'd probably go for Fernando Mendoza. I know that he's currently the odds-on favorite. I know that Diego Pavia has been getting a lot of love recently. But, the 4 finalists, obviously a huge honor, regardless of who wins tomorrow.
Yeah, it does sound like, I know the betting odds don't reflect this, but it does sound like the SEC all banded together, surprise,
Shocking.
and voted for Diego Pavia. So I'll be interested to see what the breakdown is. They send out afterwards sort of a list with how many first place votes, second place votes, how it all looks. But again, I think this is just cool. I've gotten to go, I think 3 times now to cover a Heisman ceremony. And we don't actually get to go to the ceremony where everyone dresses up and what you see on TV, but you do get to interact with the guys throughout the weekend, and the winner comes to the media room afterwards. I've not covered a win for Ohio State, so I've gotten out of there and gone and see.
The last one was Troy Smith, yeah.
Yes, I did not cover that one. But it is a cool thing, and I think even if you don't win, obviously you're disappointed. You want to go there, you want to win it. I think there's a lot of mystery taken out of it these days, but I do think it's just a cool experience. Get to go and interact with other guys that are at the top of their sport. Your families come. You get to see New York City around this time of year, which is awesome if you've never done that. So, Julian said he was in New York when he was 12 around Christmas, but that was...
He still looks like he's 12.
He does. Maybe a little taller, but yeah, that was, what is he? Probably 18, 19, somewhere around there.
Something. So 19, I'm guessing.
6-7 years ago for him. So it'll be cool to be back. I didn't realize this. He says his parents are both from the East Coast.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he grew up in just north of San Diego. But yeah, I think enjoy it if you're Julian or any of these guys, because maybe he gets back next year, maybe not, but it's just a cool experience.
Yeah, I think we all do that in college football, right? Like, we were always like, oh my God, he won the Heisman as a freshman or won it as a sophomore. He's guaranteed he's going to be back next year. Like, it's not a lot of times where you get the invite back, let alone if you win and you've got years of eligibility. Obviously, you don't need to do a history lesson. There's one dude walking around planet Earth that has 2 of them, and he resides right here in Columbus, Ohio, that being Archie Griffin. But yeah, we do that so much when there's a young player who has, and Julian's got, 2 more years, maybe 3 more years of eligibility. I don't know exactly how that works. I know he's a redshirt sophomore, right? Like technically, I guess you do have more years than you think, but I think, obviously it would be huge for him to get back to this stage next year, and it's more of a rarity than it is not. Going one time is awesome. Going twice is pretty impressive, as is going once. What about when he realized when he was playing quarterback? Obviously, he is the most accurate passer in college football history for a regular season, which is a tip of a cap unto its own. What about when he realized that his accuracy was a little bit different than most quarterbacks?
Growing up, I just kind of gravitated to the position and, followed kind of my brother's footsteps. But, I think, accuracy, it takes everybody on offense. It takes receivers making great catches and the offensive line doing their part and blocking well for you. So I think it just takes everybody. Yeah, I mean, it does. And right, I mean, it's not necessarily a coached answer out of him, but that's a classic quarterback answer. Takes everybody in the offense to be that accurate. But some of the passes that he has thrown this year, Pat, have been spectacular and have put it only to a spot where his guys can get it. And yes, he does have better wide receivers than most quarterbacks around the country, but you still got to put that ball in the money. And for the most part, he has done that.
Absolutely. Look, having the 2 best receivers in the country, arguably, we saw what it looked like when he didn't have those. He still completed well over 70% of his passes in both of those games. Yeah. But it did look a little different. The kid, I mean, you heard about it even in his recruiting before he commits or before he signs with Alabama, like just how accurate he is, accuracy and poise. Those were the things. And I think he has definitely shown that throughout his first season as a starter. I mean, so much so that it was odd. It sort of in the second and third quarters of the Big Ten championship game when maybe he wasn't, just on it completely.
He was sped up, man. And was getting after him.
And pressure and things like that. But then he figures it out and, he marches them down the field twice and you can't finish in the red zone. But
2 drives, 150 yards, 15 minutes of game clock. Yeah.
But it
0 points.
It's just odd when you see a guy who's been so good have a moment or, a drive or a quarter that isn't as perfect as he's been this season, and that just goes to show how high his standard is.
Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row. He's going to join the program. We'll put a pin or a ribbon around the Ohio State regular season as we do Beers and Buckeyes, not with Patrick Murphy, but Spencer Holbrook here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Technology is meant to connect us, but when organizations rely on disconnected systems and outdated platforms, it's no wonder teams struggle to move as one. Plant Moran joins your team to close the gaps between strategy and execution, and between your people and your technology. Together, we design smart roadmaps and modernize systems so you can streamline operations, access accurate insights in real time, and become AI ready. Plant Moran, your goals and tech strategy in sync.
Hey, Jackets fans, we know what's on your holiday wish list. Ask your Secret Santa for a Blue Jackets holiday gift pack. You'll score 2 tickets plus a Blue Jackets Honlet shirt. Learn more at bluejackets.com/holiday.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Don't miss a minute of the Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Celebrate the culmination of the 2025 season with all of Buckeye Nation and follow along on the official athletic site. From the opening postseason kickoff to the final whistle in Miami, we have you covered. It's the 2025 Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/postseason central 2025 now for more information. Go Bucks!
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $6,000. Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Find your local Kubota dealer at BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B B stands for Buckeyes. Just in case that wasn't clear, you're listening to The Buckeye Show.
And then 1 hour away from right now at 7:30, Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. He's going to join the program. Buckeyes in West Virginia got a tilt up in Cleveland tomorrow on the hardwood at 8 o'clock. So Adam Jardy is going to join us 1 hour away from right now. As of now, though, it's time to have some beers.
Drink up, Slappy. It's time for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick
Spencer
Murphy.
Holbrook. Yeah, Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row. He joins us this week for Beers and Buckeyes. Spence, what's happening? Happy Friday, buddy. What's going on?
How about a cerveza instead, since I'm about to go grab some Mexican food with my wife?
All right, that sounds good.
And cerveza. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I don't want to dox you, Spence, but do you have a local establishment that you always go to, or do you like to mix it up with your Mexican establishments?
Well, I think they'd probably have to pay the radio station to find that out. If they want to sponsor the show, by all means. No, the Fiesta Mariachi here on Stringtown Road in Grove City is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. So if they would like to sponsor either this fine radio program or Letterman Row, I guess either way, come talk to us.
Yes, for sure. I agree. No free ads, but anybody over at the Fiesta Mariachi, hopefully you're having a great Friday night. Spence, what's your takeaway this week with everything that's just been kind of craziness in college football in the last week or so? Whether it's Buckeyes, whether it's Michigan, just kind of everything that has been going on. It's been a pretty wild week to be covering the sport.
It's so crazy that we finally get a true down week for Ohio State, like one of the quietest weeks you can remember. And all of a sudden, the most surreal image possible pops up today, and that is Sherrone Moore sitting in that small little room. There's not a lot to say about it from our angle, just because no matter what you say, it sounds like it's coming from a bad place in the rivalry. I think it was super sad. I thought the memes were fantastic for about 2 hours. Then the severity of the situation sets in. It's like, oh, this is not something that is worth wasting a good tweet or a good meme about. Like, this is something pretty serious. I hope that everybody gets the help they need, but also, like, that place is a mess right now. And from a couple of years ago with Juwan Howard getting fired and Jim Harbaugh leaving the way that he did, and Sherrone Moore probably not being qualified for that job, and the staff turnover that they've had due to criminal activity, it's just a mess. And I think everybody is adult enough, even the people who kind of shill up there about it, can now sit back and say, yeah, this place is a mess. And I'm happy that it's coming to light, because we've all known it for a long time, and people are finally starting to see that light. But I think it is interesting that the mess is kind of bubbling over now, and there's probably going to be a lot of fallout from what's going on up in Ann Arbor right now.
So building on that, Spencer, where does Michigan go? Do you think they stick with Ward Manuel? Do you think someone else will be making the decision on who the next head coach is? And what is your view on what this job is in terms of if you're a coach out there potentially looking for a move, are you interested in kind of rebooting if that's the way the Wolverines go?
Yeah, it's interesting just because I don't think Ward Manuel should be in any position of power, given that everything he's resided over has ended in disgrace, or at the very least controversy. So why should he still be in charge up there? I don't know. That's not my decision. They have a really powerful board of regents, and I think their board of regents probably still likes him enough to let him make this hire. I think they hired Turnkey as the search firm, so they'll probably get the hire right, because the search firms usually do a pretty good job. The roster's really strong as far as the future. Like, Jordan Marshall could be back, Bryce Underwood could be back. The defensive recruiting's been really good. They've got a couple of flips that they got from a couple years ago who I saw on the roster today, going through it and just doing some homework just in case. And that's a strong roster for the future. Whoever takes it over is going to have a pretty good situation there, especially because with all the NIL money that's tied in there, there probably are some buyouts and some different things that will hinder guys from leaving. So, I don't think that it's going to fall. The bottom's going to completely fall out. They're going to go 2-10 next year. But whoever takes over is going to have to reestablish some culture there, because I think the culture has kind of become rotten there just based on what we see from the outside and all of the different negative headlines that come out of there.
To your point, Spencer, they do have quite the NIL arsenal, behind them, and it will be interesting to see just kind of how much of that roster is retained. Now, we've already seen a couple of commitments in this class already be released from their national letter of intent. We've seen that happen. I would imagine it's not going to be 100% retaining of the roster. I don't think anyone in college football can do that right now. But to your point, I think it's a good point to mention if there are Ohio State fans out there like wondering what's going to happen. And certainly, you can have your eyes on prospects. And I'm sure that a lot of programs in the country are looking at Michigan's roster and, perhaps going to rate it. But to your point, which I think is very good to, bring out, like they do have a lot of NIL behind them. So I think, subplot Michigan going forward, obviously they're looking for a head coach and that's their main job right now. But also how much of that good young roster can they retain is obviously a big storyline for them when it actually comes to football players in that building on the roster.
Yeah, they signed 4 guys from Virginia, which is kind of where my eyes go right now, just because I think 3 of those 4 kind of had a little bit of signing day controversy because there was a guy who's now coaching in the state of Virginia who knows a thing or two about recruiting against Michigan who was trying to get those guys to flip on signing day. So, I'm looking at those 4 guys from Virginia. What are they going to do? Because James Franklin is going to be, we can say it now. It's college football in 2025. There's going to be back channeling. I'm looking at a guy like 5-star defensive end Carter Meadows, who basically, in layman's terms, chose Michigan directly over Ohio State and now isn't going to have the head coach that he committed to play for. If that's one that releases from some documents and from some signatures and goes back on the market, you have to think that the Buckeyes would be involved there. So there is some ramifications with all of this as it pertains to just the 2026 recruiting class, not even to mention the guys who are on the roster. And again, they have recruited at a pretty high level, and they have elevated since they won the national championship. So it's going to be really interesting. The layers to this when it comes to the rivalry are there, and that's why it's worth talking about here. But again, they've got to take care of some pretty big overall athletic department things and trying to get the culture and everything right before they even consider trying to do everything when it comes to the micromanaging of the roster and things like that, because at this point, it just seems like a total reset and a clean break from the hardball era needs to probably be established.
Flipping it over to Ohio State, we now know it'll be Miami or A&M in the Cotton Bowl. If you are a Buckeye fan, which program would you rather see in terms of what's best for Ohio State winning that game?
Probably Miami, just because then you get a road game for both teams, and it's a true neutral site. I don't think A&M really scares you because I think Marcel Reed is limited as a passer, and Matt Patricia would do some things to probably get in his head a little bit from the A&M side. But, man, if you're the Ohio State defense, you'd be salivating to see Carson Beck trying to throw into the teeth of this secondary. So, I would probably say Miami right now. But I think that the Buckeyes have a pretty good chance against both of these teams. A&M played 7 of the bottom 8 teams in the SEC. That's where their 7-1 SEC record comes from. Their only loss in the SEC was to Texas. And it was by 10 points. So you kind of start to get a feel for where they actually are. As an 11-1 team, it's probably as hollow of an 11-1 as you could possibly get in the SEC. So I think that's kind of interesting. But I still think, based on the fact that the game is going to be in Arlington, you'd probably still rather see Miami just so it's a neutral site for both.
Spence, any update or word as to what's going on with the search for an Ohio State offensive coordinator? Are they going to put that off until after the playoff run? Or, I know you said it's a down week. It seems like a good week for maybe some candidates to be coming in here for that coaching search.
Yeah, I think there's actually pretty good reason to think that the playoff could tell us a little bit about what they're going to do here. There's an opportunity for a guy like Keenan Bailey, who's learned a lot under Brian Hartline. Does he take over the wide receiver job? And if he does, who do they hire for the tight ends coach / whatever they would need to put in that title to make that hire happen? Tyler Bowen has play calling experience. Billy Fessler is a really, really strong young offensive mind who's been hired by 3 people, Joe Moorhead, Chip Kelly, and Ryan Day. If all 3 of those guys are giving him their blessing to work with a position group on their coaching staff, he's doing something right. So they've got some options here. I think if this playoff goes well, they could probably hire another position coach and maybe not go with the splashy OC hire. I know that's not the sexiest thing to do, and it's probably not what a lot of people want to hear. But there's an opportunity to do that. So they've got some flexibility here, and I think the playoff could tell us a lot. Now, if they flop in the playoff and the offense doesn't look great as those guys are putting together the game plan, Ryan Day's probably going to have to go, really search and see what he wants to do with his offense coordinator hire. But I think there's some prove-it moments coming up here for Keenan Bailey, for Billy Fessler, for Tyler Bowen with this Ohio State offense.
We know Brian Hartline is spending this week down at South Florida and Tampa, kind of getting things squared away down there. After you saw what you saw in the Big Ten championship game, how concerned would you be about what's going to take place going forward in the playoff? As you mentioned, an audition maybe for some, but Brian Hartline also being pulled in two directions as much as, he may want to focus on Ohio State. That's got to be in the back of his mind.
Yeah, I think it's just really hard to do double duty in today's college football. I think Oregon's going to realize that with both of its coordinators walking out the door now and sticking around, but also trying to build a new roster. And, with their two coordinators, Ohio State's going to have to learn that one way or another, whether it goes really well or whether it goes poorly. I just think, it's not the Tom Herman thing where you can kind of put it off and go, be the Ohio State offensive coordinator for a month and then dive into Houston. If Ohio State wins this first game, that next week is going to be the transfer portal. Brian Hartline has to build a roster for year one at USF. And he has to build a roster for his next job far more than he has to worry about 3rd and 6 against Georgia or Ole Miss. So I just think that it's going to be really difficult for him to pull it off. If he does, I'll give him full credit. Because if he does and Ohio State goes on to do what it wants to do and competes for a national championship and maybe even wins the thing, you'll have to give a ton of credit to Brian Hartline for being able to kind of compartmentalize those things. But, man, it seems like a really tall task for him if they get through this first round.
Spencer, you had a team that made the college football playoff who just lost their coach because they're like, no, you can't do it, and you're joining a team in conference. Like, you are not able to coach our team through a playoff appearance. He is Spencer Holbrook, the noted nephew of Aunt Karen.
Absolute drunken orgies.
What do you got on your open weekend, Spence? I mean, first Saturday off in a long time. What are you getting into?
Well, I mean, there's a big margarita waiting for me, I'll tell you that. Maybe a couple cervezas. Army, Navy. I mean, I respect the troops. I don't know about you guys. And we'll see if Julian can shock the world, win a Heisman. I'm mid home renovation. We're redoing a big part of our house right now, and so a little bit of a construction site there. But that's what the off week is for. Trying to build new things and work on some stuff. So we'll see what happens. At this point, I'm excited just to get through Christmas and get down to Arlington. It's not even been a Saturday off, and I already missed football, which, probably has something to do with my mental health issues, I would say, because I'm a football junkie. But, we'll see how a Saturday away goes. I don't know if I would say I'm looking forward to a Saturday away, but I will appreciate it probably more, with a couple Saturdays off.
Just don't use the miter saw tonight after a couple of cervezas and the margarita, all right, on the home renovation.
Yeah,
stay away from that this evening,
right,
okay?
Partner. Yeah. All right. Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
There you go. Spencer Holbrook of Leonard Monroe with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. With the Heisman Trophy ceremony going on tomorrow, we're going to do our Power 5 favorite non-Buckeye Heisman winners in our lifetime. Coming up next, it's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the saving
savings are so good. Right now, get low lease payments on every model, like a new 2026 Elantra SE for just $119 a month for 24 months. Plus, get owner assurance and America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Go now. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit, $39.95 down plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 12 miles per year, ends 1/2/26.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The 2026 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer sets sail on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. It's an intimate ship with an even better experience. It's all-inclusive of beverages, shore excursions, taxes, and gratuities. Sail to bucket list ports like the Grand Turk, St. Martin, and St. Thomas. With Buckeye greats including Ryan Day, Bobby Carpenter, A.J. Hawk, the Boren Brothers, Ezekiel Elliott, Ryan Shazier, and more. Sailing from Fort Lauderdale, February 17th through the 24th. Call 614-792-6204 to book today.
Toyotathon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Now through January 5th, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $279 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
New creamy parm pizzas are now at Donato's. A decadent new sauce on 2 delicious new pizzas. Try the crave-worthy chicken veggie parm with roasted chicken, fresh veggies, and that rich creamy parm base. Or the savory bacon spinach parm, where smoky bacon meets fresh spinach for parm pizza perfection. Craving something different? Create your own creamy parm pizza today. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Bears in the Windy City.
Live fan coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick at 1.
Your radio home of the Browns, The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
We're here on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at CareSource and United Healthcare. Let's rank some things.
It's time for the Buckeye Show's Power 5.
All right. We get to do a 2-hour show on a Friday. We get to rank some things. We've got the Heisman Trophy ceremony coming up tomorrow. And I figured, hey, let's just name our 5 favorite Heisman Trophy winners, non-Buckeyes, in our lifetime. It's different depending on how old you are, how young you are. You may have more. Someone may have less. Patrick, what year were you born?
1989.
1989. I was born in 1992. Isaiah?
1998.
1998. Okay, you're a young gun over there. So we do have a few more selections than you. But with that being said, I'll start first. We're just going to name 5 guys. All right? 5 guys.
Burgers and fries.
Yes, that's right. No free ads. I turned that down. I forgot that was still going. Number 5 for me. I will go not into the Wayback Machine, but I will go to a guy who has transcended into superstardom into the NFL since his journey in college football, and that would be the 2016 Heisman Trophy winner, one Lamar Jackson. Do you remember the discourse around Lamar going into that draft? I mean, it was crazy. He's a running back. He's too small. He's going to get banged up. Like, yeah, okay, it's become kind of common now that he's been in the league. Like, he sits out all these practices. I know he's had some injury concerns in the past. Like, you get Lamar Jackson when he is on a tear and healthy. Like, watch out for the Baltimore Ravens. And I know that they had a tough week last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was electrifying at Louisville. He was one of the most fun college football players ever to watch. Number 5 for me has got to be Lamar Jackson.
My number 5 is Ricky Williams.
Okay. Slicky Ricky.
Yeah. Great college career. He's probably like the...
Do you know he has a website?
I do not.
Where he basically sells some sort of flowers that you set on fire, and it's called theheisman.com. HIGHS.
Interesting. I wonder
I don't know,
that works.
but that's what Ricky Williams is up to.
Interesting. Well, that makes sense with how his career ended.
Yes, nice second career for him, though.
But yeah, he's probably one of the first that I like really remember as I got into college football and was like, I remember watching that Heisman ceremony. And it just sticks out to me. Obviously, he was uber talented, as are any of these guys we're going to mention. But yeah, I'll put him at number 5, as that was like my first real memory of the Heisman. Maybe there were others before, but that just sticks out for some reason.
Isaiah?
I'm going to go ahead and let you both know I did cheat during this segment. Because I am the youngest, I'm going first and second and third. So if they finish in the top 3, they could possibly be on my list.
Oh, okay, great.
Starting
that
off
works.
with, in the 5 spot, I've got LaMichael James from Oregon in 2010. Was one of the first running backs that I think I watched his highlight tape on YouTube as a little kid over and over and over again.
Yeah, that tells me a lot that I need to know about you, because my first experience, I feel like, with watching highlight tapes was Noel Devine.
Oh, yeah.
Dude from West Virginia. He's just like one of the craziest highlight tapes like you are ever going to see. Noel Devine was incredible. Like his high school highlight tape. Julio Jones also has like an all-time highlight tape from high school. So yeah, those two guys are good. Devin Hester's is always fantastic as well. Number 4 for me, I'm going to go 20 years ago, going back to 2005, one of the most electrifying players to ever grace college football. That would be one Reggie Bush. Now, I know he had it stripped away from him. Those USC teams were awesome. It was one of the best national championship games that we got to saw him against Texas in that crazy game. He tried the lateral. It obviously didn't work, but what he was able to do on a football field and make people miss in a phone booth the way that he was, I got to go number 4 to Reggie.
We may come back to him.
Okay, that's fine. Fair. Our years overlap.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes, my number 4 is Sam Bradford, and maybe some of this has to do with where he was drafted in the NFL.
I think a lot of it does.
Number 1 overall, the last guy who made a ton of money. Well, they all make a ton of money, but
was he the last one, or was it Stafford?
It was Sam Bradford was the last one before they put the restrictions on it. Speaking of Rams quarterbacks. But no, Sam Bradford, that Oklahoma team, I mean, he wasn't, you brought up Lamar Jackson. I also, as I was going through this, I was going through the list of Heisman winners just to make sure I didn't forget anybody. And I was like, where's Vince Young? And I forgot he lost to Reggie Bush. But yeah, Sam Bradford wasn't he's not going to make you miss. He's not going to do a lot of running. But man, that guy could sling it. And those Oklahoma teams were a lot of fun.
Isaiah?
4 spot for me, RG3 in 2011. Yet another one of those that was just killing the highlights early on in that season, kind of took the league by storm, and that was one of my favorites younger on.
Yeah, I agree with that. He was also terrific in the NCAA football video game at the time.
Oh, yeah.
He started a franchise or career mode with Baylor, and it was all good. Number 3 for me, Power 5 favorite non-Buckeye Heisman winners in our lifetime. I got to go with Joe Burrow. I know he doesn't technically count as Buckeye, but he kind of does. I don't think anybody anticipated when Joe Burrow left here in this quarterback competition with him and Dwayne Haskins that he would go down, maybe not have a great first year at LSU, and then boom, one of the most prolific offenses all time, one of the most prolific stat lines of all time. Obviously went on to be a number 1 pick. Got the Bengals to the Super Bowl just a couple of years into the league. Know that he's had some injury issues as well. Don't rub it in our Bengals fans' faces, Pat, okay? It didn't go well for them.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close, and it also shouldn't have been pass interference or illegal contact on Logan Wilson at the end of that game. Anyways, I got to go number 3 to Joe Burrow. Just thinking about when he went to LSU, I'm like, man, that is a monster position that you're stepping into, and if you win down there, you're going to be a hero, and they did, and he did. So number 3, I got to go with Joey B.
I did not put Joe Burrow because I wasn't sure, and I didn't ask you if he was eligible given his Ohio State connections.
Didn't win it as a Buckeye.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I think he's eligible.
I went with, what were we on, number 3?
Yeah.
I went with Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
And some of this...
Another former Rams quarterback.
Yes, but in a very different way, and for like 5 games. But he did have that magical Christmas Day game that I watched from the airport before we flew to it. Well, we didn't fly to Atlanta, actually. We had to drive the next day. But yeah, Baker, he's still doing it. Like the way he plays in the NFL, and you've seen him get banged up. Watching him last night, like he's not the quarterback he was at the beginning of the season.
You don't need to tell Isaiah that.
No,
he knows.
Well, yeah, but me too, because I needed Emeka, Mike Williams. I need all of their receivers to do well, and none of them really did, except guys I'd never heard of. Anyway, and he's the one of this group that I saw in person because he came to the Horseshoe. Not to bring up bad memories, but
yes, he did.
Just the arrogance, like, and I mean that in a good way. Yeah. If he's on your team, you absolutely love him, and if he's not, you hate him. And those guys are a lot of fun. Or you miss him.
Or you miss him.
Yeah. What so do you mean? Number 3 for you, Isaiah.
Mine was also Baker, unfortunately, but the reason for me was how badly I wanted them to win that college football playoff game, which was one of the best I ever saw when it was Georgia versus Alabama.
Rose Bowl.
They had Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. It went to overtime. Yeah. Fantastic game. Baker made that one for me.
Number 2 for me, I'm going to go to the 15 Heisman Trophy winner and a guy who you beat in the college football playoff to win the inaugural version. I'm going to go with Derrick Henry, just because our great friend Michael Bennett, who we have consistently on in this program, Derrick Henry ran through him like 4 times and also gave him multiple injuries in the NFL. And if you look at his stat line in high school, it's still one of the craziest career stats you're ever going to see. So Derrick Henry, just the way that he runs, he's still doing it in the NFL. Maybe not as a prolific, at the rate he was doing it in Tennessee, but man, he is awesome. He is a freak of nature. It's Derrick Henry, number 2 for me.
Yeah, when you were talking about high school highlight tapes, like you watch that guy, it does not look like he's playing other high schoolers. My number 2 is Reggie Bush. You talked about him earlier.
Yeah.
Won't add a ton on there, but just electrifying. Like you talk about a video game brought to life, like some of the things he did.
Yeah.
That lateral may have been one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen, but he still was incredible.
I'm going back-to-back Browns quarterbacks. Let's run Johnny Manziel. Not my favorite Browns quarterback, but his time at Texas A&M, it's needless to say, it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
I thought you were going to go Deshaun Watson.
He didn't win the Heisman.
No, but he was top 3, I believe.
Yeah, I do believe
Almost
you're right.
made my list. No.
No, I don't believe that for a second. Yeah, Johnny was great, right? Love him, hate him. You watched, and he was for sure one of the more infamous ones. I'll tell you this much. My number 1 Heisman Trophy winners in my lifetime, growing up as a little fat kid, watching Ron Dane just run through human beings at an incredible clip. 1,000 yards every single year that he was at Wisconsin, 63 rushing touchdowns in his career. He was my idol growing up. Number 1 favorite Heisman Trophy winner of all time, non-Buckeyes, Ron Dane. Love that dude. Still love that dude. He was an idol to me.
He was ridiculous.
He was a tank.
And a Big Ten guy, so you get that. But I'm going Cam Newton. Like that one season with Auburn was I mentioned video game. Like that's literally you create your player in the video game. It's Cam Newton. Like that's the ideal quarterback. Size, arm strength,
speed, everything's maxed out on
you
the
had
attributes.
It, yeah. And I had forgotten about this game until I was watching the Iron Bowl. Actually, I was listening to the Iron Bowl on the way back from Ann Arbor, and they talked about his comeback against Alabama that year because it looked like they were going to lose that game and probably be out of the BCS National Championship, and he brings them back in the second half. The National Championship game kind of was a bit of a letdown, but that season he was just, and especially, the situation at Florida, getting kicked out there and everything, to respond that way and sort of reboot yourself. And obviously he's gone on to do things in media after his career, but he was fantastic.
My number 1 was also Cam Newton. You want to talk about people complain about the tush push at the 1 yard line? How about meeting Cam Newton at the goal line? He was pretty much automatic at at Auburn. But the one thing I will say, since Pat also took mine, is that I'm surprised nobody had one of also my favorite players at the time, Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
top 5.
I did think about Tim Tebow.
Yeah, you know what? Tim Tebow got his love. He got his flowers.
We don't have to give it to him here.
He was one of those guys that said, oh my God, he won it. He's going to win it again. He was like specifically one of those guys.
And he came close.
He did. Who are some of the candidates for the Michigan job right now? We're going to get into that in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, it's Matty Ice. Are you in need of a dependable truck for the long winter months ahead? Well, then my buddies at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion have just what you're looking for at the best price around. You can lease a brand new 26 Chevy Silverado 1500 for just $339 a month for 36 months with $1,379 due at signing, or you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP if you finance. Certain restrictions apply. They're just off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
This is Paul Keels for RV Wholesalers. Peace of mind. That's what you get when purchasing your next RV from RV Wholesalers. With every new RV purchase, Ohio residents receive the exclusive Buckeye Service Guarantee. If your RV is in the shop, RV Wholesalers will give you a free loaner. Also with a Buckeye Service Guarantee, you'll receive free delivery in the state of Ohio and 3-day RV exchange. That's the exclusive Buckeye Service Guarantee. Only at RV Wholesalers in Lakeview, Mansfield, Delaware, and RVW.com. RV Wholesalers, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Already prepping for next week's matchup? Get your best rest yet with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop Bob's and choose from pillows, soft, plush, dual feel, and extra firm mattresses with Bobopedic memory foam that will have you dreaming of game day in no time. So shop in store or online to score the latest and affordable luxury mattresses without the luxury price tag. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
Good evening, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Earlier today, former Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore was formally charged in Washtenaw County. He faces felony third-degree home invasion, misdemeanor stalking, and breaking and entering. Prosecutors stated Moore entered the woman's home, made alarming statements, even at one point threatening self-harm with kitchen utensils, thus prompting the 911 call. His next court date is scheduled for January 22nd. In Buckeye news earlier today, Bishop and friends got to catch up with Heisman finalist and OSU quarterback Julian Sayin. The Buckeyes have earned a first-round bye in the playoff, but Julian touched on how the Bucs are preparing.
Yeah, we've been, taking a little bit of time to get our bodies healthy. We're listening, we're watching film, we're getting ready, preparing, and we're practicing.
Ohio State will play the winner of Miami versus Texas A&M. That game is on December 20th. Up in Cleveland, the Cavs and Wizards should be getting ready for tip-off. This update was sponsored by the BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hour number 2 for us. We'll get to the college football pulse here in a little bit. Bill Bender of the Sporting News. He's going to join us at 7:17. And then Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. He's going to join the program at 7:30. I just got an unsolicited text from my father. All right. My dad, he's a Bears fan. He said Browns versus Bears in Chicago this Sunday. You in? I'm like, well, it's going to be one of the colder games. Now, my first game ever to Soldier Field was also one of those experiences. It was a Sunday night game, like deep in December against the Falcons. And it was like 6 degrees out. Wind chill was like -15. And I said, going to be cold. He said, can you do it? I said, no, I've got a late hoops game tomorrow that I'll be working. Buckeyes in action tomorrow against West Virginia at 8 o'clock. He said, leave Sunday morning, come back Monday. He's very serious about this.
He is dead serious.
He's very, very serious about this. So I'll let you know what happens. I'm guessing I'm going to have to hit him with a no, though, because we do work on Monday. We're working on Monday. No Buckeye Roundtable on Monday.
That's an early morning on Sunday. You'd have to leave at like 5, probably 5 a.m.
Yeah, for sure, 5 a.m. If you want to get there. I don't know what this hotel situation would be. Again, he's the trip planner, though, so who knows?
4:30 if you want to have a couple of drinks before the game.
Yeah, I'll just stay up at that point. I'll just stay up and sleep on Sunday.
You could fly.
Yeah, we could fly. That is true. But flying in a snowstorm, that doesn't sound very good to me.
How bad do you want to see him?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I've told you this all week, Isaiah, and you're the Browns fan. Guaranteed. The Bears lose.
Especially if you go.
Yes, for sure.
Lock that in right now.
And even half the Browns roster is not playing on Sunday. Doesn't matter. I don't think you guys want to win that game. Bears fans certainly want to win that game to keep their playoff hopes alive. I'm like, you're going to give both fan bases exactly what they don't win: a Browns win and a Bears loss. I'll let you know if I end up going.
It's too bad it's not in Cleveland. You could that one's
every time they're in Cleveland, I feel like I go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
and Justin Fields just got absolutely destroyed the last time the Bears were in Cleveland. I think he was sacked 9 times.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I was at that game.
Yeah.
That was a cold game.
Yeah, it was. It was a cold game. It was no fun for anybody. Let's do the college football poll.
Let's do it.
All right. We got a lot happening in the world. Heisman Trophy going on tomorrow. The troops are playing. Army, Navy. Isaiah, what do you got for us tonight, buddy?
Let's talk a little bit about the Michigan head coaching candidates. They're starting to get lined up here as the Sherrone Moore debacle continues on. Michigan fans are really trying to lock in on who their next coach is going to be. So I've got a list of candidates here that are being thrown around. Okay. It's a long list. We've got Jedd Fisch. Let me know if any of these interest either of you.
All right, I'll say, let's just do instant reaction, then we can come back to them. So you name the names, and then we'll give our reaction. Interest from a Michigan perspective on Jedd Fisch? Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
How about Kalen DeBoer?
Yes.
Yep.
Brian
Kelly?
No.
I mean, if you get far enough down the list, maybe, but yeah, not off the top.
How about Kenny Dillingham?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff Brom of Louisville?
No.
I think he could do a good job there.
Yeah, I do too, but he just signed that big contract extension.
Yeah, it's not a sexy name, but
no, it's not.
I think he's a good coach.
Next one, Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Clark Lee from Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Yeah, if he can get him to leave.
But again, he just signed a big contract extension as well.
Jesse Minter, who's currently the DC for the Chargers.
No, we talked about this last night. If you're going to do it, it's got to be a clean break from the Harbaugh tree. And we'll ask Bill Bender of the Sporting News about that coming up in our next segment. We'll see if he shares the same sentiments about that.
Can I interest you in a PJ Fleck?
PJ, listen, I think that the Michigan job is obviously better than the Minnesota job. Minnesota job, really hard. I think PJ Fleck has done a really, really good job at Minnesota, given the circumstances. Like, we're never anticipating Minnesota to even flirt with being in a Big Ten championship game, especially now it's an 18-team conference. Maybe when it was back in the East Division, West Division, maybe in that West, you could flirt around and get to a Big Ten championship game. I think PJ Fleck is a heck of a coach. So I'll say yes on PJ Fleck.
Yeah, I would take him.
Final two. Mike Elko.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Biff Poggi.
No.
Probably not.
No, same reasons you said earlier. He was a Harbaugh guy.
Yeah, I can't do it. But like realistic options, and just from a contract standpoint, Jeff Brom just signed a contract extension. Okay, so he let's throw him out hypothetically. Throw him out of the list. Clark Lee just signed a contract extension as well. Let's throw him out. Of those guys that Isaiah named, Kalen DeBoer, I know that Josh Pate said earlier today on ESPN or whatever he was talking about, like he doesn't expect Kalen DeBoer to go. Again, it's Alabama. Like you're already at one of probably the best jobs in college football. I know that Nick Saban made that a really, really good job, and you're walking in the giant, in the shadow of a giant right now. But I don't know if Kalen DeBoer, obviously I think you would take him if you're Michigan. How realistic is that opportunity going to pop up, though, that he's leaving Alabama to go to Michigan? That would be every bit of a surprise, bigger of a surprise, I think, than Lane Kiffin jumping ship from Ole Miss to LSU. The Jedd Fisch thing is interesting, and Kenny Dillingham is interesting. Like both of those guys, I think they're good coaches. Obviously, Jedd Fisch and his connection. Technically, I know that he was on staff with Jim Harbaugh. I'm not sure if he's a Harbaugh, like descendant Harbaugh guy. I think he's
gone on, done his own thing.
He's far enough removed. Kenny Dillingham, like if you want an energy pop, an energy booster, someone who's going to come in there and punch you in the mouth, like I like that guy a lot. You saw what Arizona State did last year in the college football playoff. They were really close to, I forget who they're playing now, but they were close to kind of popping through.
I think it was Texas, right?
I think you're right. It was Texas. They had the ball on the goal line, and Texas made an interception or something. I don't remember how that game ended.
Might have went to overtime. I can't remember.
I don't either. It was close. It was close at the very end. But yeah, Kenny Dillingham for sure. I think he has definitely got to be on a short list.
If you were Kalen DeBoer and you are not thrilled with everything that's gone down in Alabama, which includes the pressure of following Nick Saban, and you're supposed to win every game. It's a lot like Ohio State down there right now. You're in this small town in Tuscaloosa. I don't know. I mean, it would be shocking, you're right, to leave a program like that. You're in the college football playoff for a team that's not similar to what you said about LSU. But I do, if there are things that he dislikes about Alabama, I think Ann Arbor could solve some of that. And he's from the northern half of the country. His family is, and I don't know. I think it's something to keep an eye on. And we'll see. Obviously, he's still got a college football playoff game to coach. But yeah, I mean, look, if you are a Michigan fan, you're looking at that list. Are you thrilled?
I would be thrilled with a few names. I think Kalen DeBoer would be a good hire. I think Jed Fish would be a good hire. I think Kenny Dillingham would be a fantastic hire.
Would you have been more thrilled with the options, say, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, of course you would, but you didn't anticipate this coming down the way.
Or did you?
Well, it's a fair question. And I know they had, looked into it in the summertime, and we don't need to get into all the details of all of that. It's a much different list than what it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's also a much different list than what it was in the middle of the college football season when James Franklin got fired from Penn State. Because you remember the names that we were mentioning about him. I mean, we said on this show earlier this week, or maybe it was last week at some point, Penn State was responsible for $370 million worth of contract extensions. You look at Curt Cignetti, which, by the way, anybody in college football would be lucky to have that dude. You look at Matt Rule. I know that he had Penn State connections and is a Penn State guy. Like, would he have jumped ship? There were more fascinating names, obviously, on the table. The big one is if Michigan, in an alternate reality, opened up around the same time as LSU did. What would have Lane Kiffin have chosen there? Like, would he have preferred Michigan or LSU? Obviously, LSU, monster job. Not debating that, but I think it would have been an interesting runway for that to happen.
I also would say those guys that were mentioned that you talked about signing contracts, Michigan's serious. You can put up some money to get those guys out of that contract.
Yes, you can.
If you are, really trying to go for a home run / the guy you think is right. And that's the biggest thing with all of these hires, going back to the Penn State hire. Like, it doesn't matter what public perception is. You've got to make sure you get the guy you think is the best for you and then prove to be right on the other side of this. And, it's not an ideal time to be doing it, but, this is the situation you're in.
By the way, the College Football Pulse brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. National college football reporter Bill Bender, The Sporting News. He's going to join us. We'll recap a crazy week in college football with him coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's a great time to save on 2 packs of Kroger butter. 16-ounce packages are on sale for only $5.99 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You have a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or cash prize this holiday season with a Home for the Holidays raffle. And help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish Kids. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 ticket now. Just visit ahomefortheholidayscolumbus.org to buy your tickets. That's ahomefortheholidayscolumbus.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Don't miss a minute of the Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Celebrate the culmination of the 2025 season with all of Buckeye Nation and follow along on the official athletic site. From the opening postseason kickoff to the final whistle in Miami, we have you covered. It's the 2025 Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/postseason central 2025 now for more information. Go Bucks!
You get up early on snow days because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to thrive in the winter. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $4,000. Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Find your local Kubota dealer at BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com. New creamy parm pizzas are now at Donato's. A decadent new sauce on 2 delicious new pizzas. Try the crave-worthy chicken veggie parm with roasted chicken, fresh veggies, and that rich creamy parm base. Or the savory bacon spinach parm, where smoky bacon meets fresh spinach for parm pizza perfection. Craving something different? Create your own creamy parm pizza today. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Love football? Love wings? Put those bad boys together and you get Austin and Vern live at Roosters.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Large amounts of football and all the donkey sauce you can handle. Mondays on the Fans YouTube channel.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
The cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, light winds, and a dry finish on this Friday. Temperatures in the mid-30s. Overnight back down to the 20s with a dry start to the day. Snow arrived, moving in quickly for the afternoon and evening. Be careful out there. 3 to 5 inches likely by the end of the day. And a blustery Sunday with highs only in the teens. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Someone out there probably thinks we spend too much time talking about the Buckeyes. Please tell someone that they're stupid. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Back here on The Buckeye Show, Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. He's going to join us coming up here at 7:30. Right now, though, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our good friend. He is of the Sporting News. He is Bill Bender. Bill, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. Youth sports, I know, have you very busy right now in the winter months. What's going on, Bill? Good to talk to you.
Hey, man, it's good to talk to you again, too. Yeah, we're doing girls basketball and box lacrosse and all the things that Grant and Bella have me and Kimberly drive around 270 for. And I miss talking to you, man. You and Pat, saw Pat a couple weeks ago. Anything happened since then?
I don't know. I think certainly we can get into it, Bill. Obviously, there has been a lot of breaking news over the course, really, of the last week, right? I feel like the last week has kind of been a crazy week for the whole sport of college football. But we'll stay in the Big Ten for right now, and maybe we can journey into the college football playoff a little bit later on. What's your, I guess, biggest perspective takeaway as of what you have learned going on at the University of Michigan in the last, 48 hours or so, Bill?
I think Pat had a great tweet today. I mean, regardless of your feelings of the program, either way, I mean, there was a family affected, and the Sherrone Moore piece of this is really bizarre. I mean, when it came down, there was an inappropriate relationship, and it morphed into what it has become with him being arraigned today. I would have never guessed that would have happened. So you hope from his sake that, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever coach football again. I think it's secondary to everything else going on there. And then, as far as Michigan, we'll see where they go with this hire. I know Kalen DeBoer is a pain, but right back to Lane Kiffin's cycle here. They got a game next week.
Yeah, Bill, it is odd, and I think that the whole college football world was kind of taken aback by this. Just what was your first reaction before everything all comes out about what's going on with Sherrone Moore, that Michigan was firing a coach who just won 9 games? Obviously, at that point, you don't know all the background, but it just seems like we're in a different world where 9 games, 8 games a year ago maybe isn't even good enough if you believe that they were kind of waiting to see how this whole season played out before they made any decisions.
This is the world we live in, and that happened with James Franklin. If you're on the Michigan side of that, you were probably thinking Matt Campbell would have been perfect for that job.
Yes, he would have.
In Michigan, honestly. With his experience at Toledo where he won 35 games and did a really nice job at Iowa State, and Penn State gets him. So sometimes when you make moves like that, it doesn't turn out how you think it would. Now, obviously, the extenuating circumstances around Sherrone Moore's firing, okay, you have to make that move. We're all wondering what's going to happen with Ward Manuel next, with that entire administration, whoever they hire next. When I see Jesse Minter, I just say, no, you have to break completely away from that Harbaugh tree and all these. I mean, it's just, I did the timeline of scandals since 2023, and it took up a good part of the day.
Yeah, it did. I mean, there was a lot there as we check in with Bill Bender, the Sporting News, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. I said the same thing last night, Bill, and I got just roasted by a lot of Michigan fans. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying to be unbiased here when we're talking about a situation. Like, it is a crown jewel of a job when you think about the University of Michigan and what they have been and what they are, and winning a national championship just a few years ago. But I'm like, I don't know. If I was in a hiring perspective for them, like, there's no way I could go back to the Harbaugh tree or anything that has been involved, anyone that has been involved with them, him, Sherrone Moore in the past, 5 or 6 years. I'm like, it seems like a perfect time to cut all the ties and kind of start fresh.
Totally agree. And I think, whether that ends up being Kenny Dillingham, or I've thrown Dan Mullen out there a little bit, just because I think that's not a Power 4 to Power 4 move. And that's why it makes a little more sense to me, because it might be hard to get a Power 4 coach at this juncture. So, they obviously have a chance to do all those things you mentioned, restore some integrity to a program that used to say leaders invest and never been suspended, those kind of things. But when you have double-barrel NCAA investigations, one for sign stealing, one for recruiting violations, now this, it's just so much to take in for any athletic department, let alone one at a Big Ten school. I was asked, I'll see what you guys think. I was asked earlier this week, where does Michigan rank among the best jobs in college football? You get one of those vague questions. I said my top 4 would be Ohio State, Texas, either or. Both are awesome. Alabama, LSU would be my next 2. And then I said, then you get into that Oregon, Notre Dame, Michigan, Georgia type realm. And that's about where they are. So whoever takes over will have a nice job.
Yeah, I think it's like inarguably a top 10 job in college football. Depending on the year, depending on everything crazy in the recruiting classes, transfer portal. We know that teams ebb and flow, but yeah, I think it's a top 10 job certainly. Bill, let's go locally here for just a second. Buckeyes kind of had a crazy week, right? They lose their offensive coordinator, great wide receivers coach, developer of talent, Brian Hartline, to South Florida. You fast forward to last weekend, they lose the Big Ten championship game to Indiana. They're the number 2 seed in the college football playoff. Just how are you kind of monitoring everything that was going on in Buckeye land over the last week? Because it did seem a little bit crazy.
It was, and obviously with the Brian Hartline leaving, then you get in a game where Indiana was up for it. They played very well. You can't take any credit away from their defense. It was one of those classic Big Ten slugfests, and a couple plays there in the red zone that Ohio State didn't finish. I just feel like if they got a rematch at the end, Ohio State could still go into that game with a ton of confidence, and I don't see why they wouldn't.
got to go through a playoff path. And if you ask me who do you think is going to win the national championship, I would say probably the winner of Ohio State and Georgia if they play in the semifinal. And I think most people would go there, which means despite everything that Kurt Cignetti's done at Indiana this season, didn't think he'd win at Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, or Ohio State in the final. He keeps doing it in spite of all of us. So maybe it's a bad idea to pick against the Hoosiers at this point.
Yeah, start picking the Hoosiers so that people here can be happy. Outside of sort of the Ohio State part of the bracket, what just intrigues you the most when you look at this field? Are there any upsets you think could happen? Maybe at any point in there, but just what intrigues you the most about it now that we know the 12 teams that are in?
Well, I mentioned the Georgia-Ohio State game, and I think the other game that I really want to see is Oregon-Texas Tech, and I think we're going to get to see it. I was down at the Nagurski banquet on Monday. I got to put a tux on and everything.
Yes,
Still got to figure out the bow tie. The bow tie part was hard, but I was around Jacob Rodriguez a little bit, and this guy's cleaned up on the defensive awards. I thought they could have probably squeezed him in as a Heisman finalist as the fifth guy. What that's all about. That defense played very well. They get a chance against Oregon. Oregon's been there, done that in this spot. And I do think, and this is going to be, wait for this to happen. We'll see if I'm wrong. I think Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State are all going to go to the semis. I think Georgia is. And then it becomes a Big Ten SEC thing again. Could you imagine? I know everybody here wants Ohio State to win it again, regardless. But if the Big Ten takes a third national championship with any of those schools in a row, I think the SEC would be in a little bit of panic mode.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with you. Also, a matchup that I'm intrigued is a possible rematch between Oregon and Indiana. It was a great game that we got in the regular season out in Eugene, so I'm excited to potentially see that game be played as well. Bill, before we get you out of here, what's your takeaway on the Pete Bavacqua word salad tour and future programs saying, I don't know if we're going to schedule you anymore, just everything battle between the ACC and Notre Dame. It's been a wild week for the Irish as well.
If a network aired a game of my team losing for 48 hours, I'd probably do the same thing. If I was ranked ahead of Alabama, and then I wasn't, and then I was ranked ahead of Miami, then I wasn't, I'd probably do the same thing. The more I think about it, I don't love that Notre Dame's sitting out of the bowl game. But I don't mind everything else they're doing with the threats. And when you use phrases like permanent damage, you got to wonder what that means for the ACC after 2036.
Bill, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy driving around 270, and hopefully we'll check in again soon, okay?
Hey, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There he goes. Bill Bender of the Sporting News with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Covered a lot of ground there with Bill. A lot of ground to be covered, too.
Yeah, I mean, with a week like we've had with on and off the field stuff to talk about, it's always good to have Bill, who has a lot of people we talk to are local, but he's
local too.
He is local, but his job is
not
national. Yeah. So it's good to get his perspective because he does bounce around, and it was good to catch up with him. I saw him in the Michigan press box, as he mentioned, so it was good. I hadn't seen him in a while because when I first started, he was around quite a bit because he was more regional at that point. And so I don't get to see him as much, which is sad because I love Bill.
Always love Bill's work, too. Sportingnews.com. You can go find him. Any article that he writes, I'm always reading it. Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. He's going to recap the first quarter of the Buckeye Hoops season with us coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Optimized IT, the managed services division of Modern Office Methods. With our cutting-edge managed IT services, we bring proven management strategies to the table to support your current IT team. That's not all. Our experienced team provides insight on how to maximize efficiency, helping you achieve your goals faster. Concerned about security? Our backup solutions help guarantee your data is protected around the clock, giving you peace of mind. Start at OptimizedIT.net for your free IT assessment. Stay ahead, stay secure, and stay optimized.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State National Championship quarterback and former CareSource kid, Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. Seeing that CareSource heart around town, I just knew they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. This is so much more than health insurance. CareSource, today and always. Trusted. Visit caresource.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We here at The Fan believe there's no such thing as too much Ohio State coverage. You're locked into The Buckeye Show.
Oh my God, Pat Murphy tonight. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with a great friend of the program. He is Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch. Adam, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. How would you assess the Buckeyes play on the hardwood so far through the first quarter, third of the season? I'm not exactly sure the percentage that we're through it, but as to what you've seen so far from this Ohio State basketball team.
It's been pretty good. Could be better. And I think there's real reason to believe it will get better. And we're going to learn a lot in these next couple of weeks here, because once they play this game tomorrow, they'll have played 5 high major games in their first 10, and we'll start to have a little bit more of a body of evidence here of what this team can and can't do. But I mean, you can see the pieces, you can see the potential in pretty much everyone in that top 8, top 9 in the rotation. It hasn't totally clicked yet, and I suppose you'd rather it not be a fully formed piece in December as opposed to March. But on the whole, pretty good, I would say.
Adam, long time no see.
Yep.
Good chatting with you earlier. We've heard from Jake Diebler talking about how close that game was the other night against, number 13 Illinois. How much do you buy into, hey, close, that's good this time of year, versus, hey, they've been close before, and even before Jake Diebler took over, but they haven't always gotten over the hump? Where do you kind of stand on that?
I've had a hard time mentally distancing that game from the Pitt loss.
Yeah.
Because I think that the Illinois loss is totally understandable. I mean, you're playing, a top 15 team who has a lot of, firepower and has played a better schedule to this point. So they're a little bit more tested than Ohio State. And, you're going to lose games like that. Like you're occasionally going to play good teams, and good teams are going to have good players. You're not going to always make shots. Like that stuff's going to happen. I think had Ohio State been undefeated going into that game, then I think it's probably a different vibe overall. It's the fact that they did lose the game by 1 at Pitt, where you're just saying, okay, is this the same script that we have seen before? And certainly then you can get into the mitigating circumstances. Like if John Mobley doesn't injure his ankle in the first half of that Pitt game, do they lose that Pitt game? Like, probably not. And if they don't lose that Pitt game, then are we talking about a different scenario here with the loss to Illinois? The other thing that is weird to me about the Illinois game, when you really think back on it, is just how deadly proficient the Illini were from the line, and how just you felt that just demoralize everything in that arena as the game went on. It's like every time they got a foul and went to the line, then. If they miss 7 free throws, everybody gets free chicken, and they announce that before every free throw. And then they're 15 for 15, and at the end of the night, they go 29 of 32, and there was no more enthusiasm by the end that maybe they're actually going to miss a free throw here. It just kind of sapped the will of the arena, the way they were able to salt it away at the line.
I don't think it was any surprising if you were watching that game, whether it was at the arena or if it was at home on Tuesday night against Illinois. Bruce Thornton was incredible, right? I mean, he was just in fuego in the first half, and I don't remember exactly how many shots he hit in a row to start the game, but I kind of want to pivot off of that, Adam, And just like he lost the game by 8 points. I know that Illinois was really good at the free throw line, and they are a really good college basketball team. What's your concern, though, when you get a game like that, you get Bruce playing 40 minutes in that game? Because I know that this roster was specifically built in the offseason to limit his minutes, and for him not to have to do that on a night in, night out basis, especially when you get into conference play. Like, you got it. It was a great performance out of Bruce, but, hindsight, I'm looking at it like they don't want to do that again this year. I know he's a special player, but like they built around to try to protect him from taking those minutes all season long.
Yeah. And honestly, the story that I'm writing for the Dispatch tomorrow is about how, like, we can call them the big three if you want. I mean, the three returnees of Thornton, John Mobley, and Devin Royal. And of those three, I mean, Bruce certainly brought it in that game. Bruce produced at a high level in that game. They haven't had all three of those guys click yet in a game this season. And, Devin missed a game with a hip injury. Mobley's been limited with the ankle for the last 2-3 games here. So, like, they haven't been fully operational, I suppose. And I think that probably has a factor in all of this. And I think we've seen, like, Devin Royal can take over a game. John Mobley can take over a game. Like, we just haven't seen the optimal version of what that trio looks like. And certainly then you add in Christoph Tilley and how impressive he looked through the first 5-6 games before suffering this foot injury. Like, you just sort of feel like you have these parts that have occasionally shown you what the capabilities look like. They just haven't put it all together yet at the same time. And so I think when they do, that's when, you don't need Bruce Thornton to play 40 minutes a game. I think it's more just a product of, like, they're not all in sync yet. And yet at the same time, I mean, they scored 80 points. Like, that was Illinois' worst defensive effort of the season. Like, nobody has had a better night against the Illini than Ohio State did. So, maybe we need to focus a little more on the defensive end. Maybe that's another conversation, but certainly when Bruce Thornton gets you 34, 6, and 6, you'd like to win that game.
When you said fully operational, were you thinking Star Wars there?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes, I was.
So. Good. Given everything you just said about the Illinois game and about sort of the injuries and guys still needing to step up, how big is this game tomorrow in Cleveland against West Virginia?
I mean, it is big. And part of what makes it big is the Pitt loss. It's that you can't take losses to teams that aren't really projected to do a whole lot or necessarily make the tournament. Like West Virginia, it's a fine team, but like at the end of the day, this is probably going to be like a quad 2 game when it comes to the net rankings and seeding the NCAA tournament at the end of the year. That Pitt loss is going to drag the resume down all year because the Panthers are not good. And that makes a game like you can't have games like this that will then sink your resume, because the thing that kept Ohio State afloat all year last year until the end when the losses just piled up was that they didn't have bad losses. You have a bad loss on your resume now. West Virginia is better than Pitt, but you can't afford to take another loss this early, especially when you're then going to go play North Carolina next weekend. And the Tar Heels have been really impressive, like probably one of the more pleasant surprises in the sport. And I say that as a Duke fan. So for them to be playing the way that they are, you don't want to, the old saying, like, you don't want to lose a game you should win before you go play a game you should lose. Like, Ohio State's going to be an underdog next weekend going to play North Carolina. So you got to take care of business against West Virginia here tomorrow.
Got to win the games you're supposed to win, right? And then just see what happens when you get into conference play. As we check in with Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, Adam, defensively. I think that, Jake Diebler's been pretty adamant about it in some of the post games, and especially he was rather fired up against Illinois on Tuesday. Like, we kind of gave them the game defensively. There were some empty fouls. Illinois, they're killing you at the free throw line. They even tried a 1-3-1. I don't know if that was for one possession or two possessions, but they were trying to mix things up defensively. What have you noticed as a whole defensive unit for Ohio State this season, and potentially where they could get better at?
I mean, I think we've seen that there have been pockets where they've played pretty strong defense, and I think we've seen that at times this team can wall up and get a couple of stops and try to create a little bit of separation. The thing, I don't have like a metric for this, or I don't have a stat for this, but I do feel like the number of times that like someone on the other team is getting a wide open 3-pointer with about 6 seconds left on the shot clock seems pretty high. And I can't, that's just my own like 2 eyes on it. I can't quantify that in any real way, but I feel like there's something that's maybe missing there. And it's a team too that if they could get a few more defensive rebounds. Like statistically, this hasn't been a really bad rebounding team. They've been a tick better than what we saw last season, but it still feels like they have the number of possessions where they guard really well for 20 seconds, force a tough shot, but then like someone grabs a rebound and they got to guard again. Like that still happens more than you would like. And I think that's probably the biggest thing is like, you know, you're going to have possessions where you're going to give up a good shot. You're going to, you know, guys are going to drive on you. Like this is never going to be an elite defensive team, but I think it can be a good enough defensive team if they can cut down on some of those second chance opportunities that teams are getting.
You mentioned Christoph Tilley earlier, one of the transfers we talked about a lot in the offseason. Just what have you made of this group? And I know they still have a lot of story to write, but the group that came in this offseason and what they have done thus far.
It's been kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I think like the best example of that is Brandon Knoll, who, I mean, to go from scoreless in the Pitt game and to then go and have 29 at Northwestern and completely dominate that game, and then to really be a non-factor against Illinois. Like, he's kind of an interesting one to me because I'm starting in my mind to think of, like, what was Kyle Young's production for Ohio State? Like, he would consistently get him some rebounds and some points, and there'd be some nights he'd flash, but, like, he wasn't a focal point of the offense. I think that's probably a similar type of deal for Brandon Knoll. He's not always going to, be featured in the flow of the offense, but, like, you'd like to see a little bit more consistency from him. I think you'd like to see, I think Tilley had 13 and 8 in the Illinois game. It didn't feel like that to me. Like, you'd like to see him contributing, I think, at a more consistent level as well. And like Gabe Cupps has been fine. He's been a solid backup who can, move the ball and put Bruce off the ball and can guard. So it hasn't quite hit as highly as I think we might have thought it would overall when it comes to that transfer class. But I also, again, think like there's better basketball ahead for them, especially like Tilley with the foot injury, which we don't really know too much about. But I think that's clearly impacted him. He has not looked like the same player these last 3-4 games while he's been dealing with that. So the healthier he can get, I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Adam, thanks for the time this evening. Safe travels up to Cleveland during the snowstorm tomorrow, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. It should be a fun one. Thanks for having me.
See you, Adam. There he goes. Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Jeremiah Smith may have some pent-up anger and aggression for the college football playoff.
Yeah,
we'll do that in hashtag Buckeyes next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions. And yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years, and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
It's the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. So don't just hang your own lights. Look for the northern lights. Drink cocoa on the beach. Or be a drive-by karaoke caroler. Because every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So you can take holidays to places they've never been with a capable Kia SUV. And right now, get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of specially tagged new 2025 Telluride, Sorrento, and Sportage models. Kia, Movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 60 months from Kia Finance. Subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2025 Telluride, Sorento, and Sportage. $1,705 per month per $1,000 financed at 60 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 1/2/26. Offers may not be combined except where specified. Subject to dealer participation and vehicle availability. See Kia dealer for details.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Picture it. Your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to the Fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on the Fan app, TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
We are on the Buckeye Show, sponsored by CareSource and United Healthcare. By the way, you can always go back and listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Thanks for everybody for hanging out in the YouTube chat tonight. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. You can watch all of our live and local shows. You can watch Austin and Berm, all kinds of good stuff on the YouTube channel. So again, thanks everybody for hanging out this evening. We have the College Football Awards Show going on ESPN right now, Pat. And while we were talking to Bill Bender of the Sporting News, some news did break that Jeremiah Smith, who finished 6th in the Heisman voting, I believe I'm correct, won Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year, did not win the Biletnikoff Award. Mekhi Lemon, who also plays and is a terrific wide receiver for USC, did win the Biletnikoff Award. Swiftly after that was announced, Jeremiah Smith put out a video on his Twitter X account, and it's rather X-rated. Can't play it on this radio station.
It's from a movie.
Yeah, you can go listen to it. You can go, obviously, on Twitter and search Jeremiah Smith and see what he has to say about it. But it does seem that he's rather fired up about not winning the Biletnikoff Award.
Either that or something irritated him at the exact same time. But I would assume that is what it was. I will say he did make first-team All-American from the Walter Camp, which they announced during that as well, along with Caleb Downs, Caden McDonald, and Arvell Reese.
All right.
Julian Sayin and Caden Curry were second team. So you do get that. But, yeah, look.
How can you win your conference's best receiver of the year and then a guy in the same conference beats you out for the Biletnikoff? Now, I know that there was a little bit of an intricacy in the voting in this because the voting for these awards shut down before the conference championship games. The Heisman voting is able to continue through those games.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked, but Mekhi Lemon is your Biletnikoff winner for this season.
Yeah, and then look, like this isn't to take anything away from Mekhi Lemon.
Spectacular player.
Yeah, and Skylar Bell from UConn was the other finalist. Mekhi Lemon, 79 catches, 1,156 yards, 11 touchdowns. He did that in 12 games. Jeremiah, also 12 games. Obviously, he missed one, but played in the Big Ten championship game. 80 receptions, 1,086 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So if you're doing it entirely based off stats, then I think it's fair to, well, in that case, you should have given it to Skylar Bell because he was better than both of them. But, I mean, we've known Jeremiah Smith as the best wide receiver in college football since the
day he got into college.
Yeah, and he has not won the award either time. Last year, it was Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I even thought that was, obviously he won the Heisman and he plays both ways and all that stuff, but was he a better wide receiver than Jeremiah Smith? No, he was not. And so I think Jeremiah Smith, if you are an Ohio State fan, you're excited about the motivation going to the college football playoff. He should be healthier. I think you'll also be excited to see what he does next year because that, I imagine, will be his last opportunity to win the Biletnikoff. And
You're really going out on a ledge there, aren't you?
Yeah. Now remember, Marv didn't win it. His sophomore year.
He did win it though.
He did win it his junior year, right before he leaves.
Do you know the only other Ohio State wide receiver to win the Biletnikoff Award?
I should know this because I'm sure I've written it multiple times. No, who is it?
It's Terry Glenn.
Oh, that's right. I've definitely written that.
Only 2 times you've won the Biletnikoff Award.
Which is wild to think about.
I know, right? Like especially in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, and I guess like Garrett's playing with Chris Olave and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, they're all playing with each other.
Yeah.
It's just been a steady stream of freakazoids in that room.
And look, if it's a stat award, fine. I think you should be able to look and say like, hey, that Jackson, his junior year he was hurt. That sophomore year though, it's hard for me to find another receiver better. I don't remember who won it, but look, they've said it all year. Like, it's not about the individual awards, it's about the team awards, and
yes, it is.
What comes with that is the individual success. So,
not to say that you can't be motivated by getting slighted though for not winning the award.
For sure, and I think that's
different. I feel like you're operating in different worlds right there.
Yeah, and look, Caden McDonald didn't win the Outland, which I don't think many people expected, but if he wants to use that as motivation, I think Larry Johnson and the Buckeye staff will be happy about that.
Absolutely, they will. Again, college football awards coming out. Who'd you say were the All-Americans, Pat? Caleb, Jeremiah, and...
It was Caleb. I have it right here. Caleb, Jeremiah, Caden McDonald, Arvell Reese were first team.
Do you think they're going to get skunked? Because we've got, Caleb is up for the Thorpe Award, right?
Caleb is up for the Thorpe Award.
I'm guessing he's going to win that. If I had to take a guess, I'm guessing he's going to win.
Yeah, well, given what he's done in the past in terms of just cleaning up on these individual things, he's won. I guess you could argue the other way. Like, his stats aren't as impressive as some other guys out there.
It's hard to,
but yes, if you watch him
just
play.
A stat watch. Yeah, and a lot of the times, too, and again, this is just my experience. I don't know if anybody else has different experiences. You don't really even notice him on the football field because he's eliminating half of the field with what he is doing. So when he's quiet, it's usually a really good game for Ohio State defensively because you look at him like, man, what is he doing? He's just eliminating half the field for the other offense. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and then his communication to the guys around him. We've talked about it before, but the way he talks with Devin Sanchez when he's on the field, obviously a freshman doing this for the first time this year, critical. I don't think this Matt Patricia defense would still be very good without Caleb Downs, and if we hopefully get to see it next year without Caleb, but I don't know if it works as well this year if you don't have Caleb to kind of help take the thoughts in Matt Patricia's head and put them out on the field.
I was reading this today from Field Yates of ESPN, who's actually on Rothman and Ice, and I don't know if we have time to play any of that sound, but he was on their show. By the way, a great descendant, a great son of the state of Ohio. I think Field's grandpa grew up in Columbus or something like that. He put out his latest mock draft. I don't know what point it is. All these guys do 1.0, 2.0. But he did put this out. First Buckeye off the board for Ohio State in Field Yates mock draft. Number 3, Arvell Reese going to the Tennessee Titans at number 3.
Were they trading down?
That would be no, that's just where they have him. He does have a trade between the Jets and the Giants at number 1. The Jets moving up from the Giants position to go grab Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, obviously, of Indiana, and I think we expect them to win the Heisman Trophy tomorrow.
Wait, who does he have picking number 1 overall?
The Jets via projected trade with the Giants.
Oh, you just said that.
I did just say that.
I was trying
zoned
to
out. It happens.
Well, no, I was just trying to do the math in my head of like, don't the Titans have the worst record in the NFL?
Well, they just beat the Browns last
They
week.
did just beat the Browns. By the way, the Thorpe Award is about to be announced. I don't know if we'll still be on the air as they go through each guy.
We'll let you know what happens. Continuing with this mock draft, Isaiah, I know you're excited about this. Number 4, the Cleveland Browns drafting one Carnell Tate from The Ohio State University. Back-to-back Buckeyes off the board.
A wide receiver, you say?
I say a wide receiver. That is correct, sir.
I feel like that could work, for the Browns. It feels like right now they are lacking in that area. I'm not watching the game super closely, but so far Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman are disappointing.
Yeah, no, they have been. So he's got the Browns taking
Caleb won.
Carnell Tate, number 4. He did win. Okay. All right.
Caleb.
Jim Thorpe Award, Caleb Downs did win the Thorpe Award. Congrats to Caleb. That's awesome. He doesn't need that for extra motivation now into the playoffs, but I'm sure he's going to turn that into that. So he did get one award, and he got multiple All-Americans tonight. So that's pretty solid. At number 9 in Field Yates mock draft, Pat, your Los Angeles Rams via a trade with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Taking safety and Thorpe Award winner Caleb Downs.
I do love that. That is what I hope ends up happening. I need the Falcons to stop winning football games like last night. We don't need that, guys. Come on. What are you playing for here? You're playing to give your pick to the Rams, so lose these games for me, please.
Number 15, the Dallas Cowboys selecting linebacker Sonny Styles. How about that? Well, Jerry Jones saying, you know what? I'm going to go get my guy. I think that would be a good fit. And I believe...
It just looks right in my head.
Yeah, if I'm correct, that is the only... And by only, I mean, how many Buckeyes did I just say? 4 or 5? Those are the Buckeyes that are in Field Yates' first-round mock draft. I like mock draft season, especially this time of the year. You kind of get through the year. You're waiting on the playoffs. You have illusions of grandeur if your team is out of it. And saying, oh, all right, who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? Isaiah, I know that you're familiar with.
I've been thinking about that for months.
Yeah. I was going to say, Beam, you also seem to have spent time on this maybe in the past.
I have. I've spent a lot of time on it in the past. Yes, I have. It says Mr. 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime.
Only 2.
All right.
It could have been more. Just, they've been to multiple.
Yeah. All right. Everybody feels really bad for you. Pat, I had a great time with you tonight. Let's do it again on Monday. No Buckeye Roundtable on Monday. I think we have a full 2-hour banger, right?
I think this will be my first Monday.
I think it would be it's very few Mondays for me since the start of the football season. Everybody have an awesome night. Thanks for the time this evening. Something else is up next on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to